All right, new week, new month, new life, am I right? In this video, I'm going to set up June, my whole entire monthly booklet for June, because May is done. I'm going to put my calendar there, I'm going to put my weeklies, make my Dutch doors for my weeklies and for my next action spreads, and set up my tracker, which will be slightly different, and yeah, let's see how we go. So I have all my calendars in the back, no, not in the back, but in the project section, just to have them gathered in one place, and then I transfer them to the daily planning section when it's time, because I don't know how many pages I need for journaling each month. So the first thing I'll do is to cut out June. It's almost cut out itself, and glue it where it's supposed to go. So when I set up these calendar pages, I made sure that the back was blank so that it doesn't matter that I'm going to put glue on it, so I have skipped a spread between each month. And this is where the cutout calendar will go. It's on the inside of the cover page for my June booklet, as I call them. And of course it becomes quite thick because I glue 2 pages together, but I don't mind at all. I actually quite like having the cover be quite thick because it makes it easier to flip to that page. And I folded the edge of the calendar so that Saturday and Sunday aren't really visible. And now I am preparing the Dutch door spreads for both my weeklies and my next action spread. So I cut 5 pages for my 5 weekly spreads and 6 pages for my 6 next action spreads. And I measure them to make the margins of the cover pages visible from all the weekly spreads and next action spreads. So I made this 6 boxes wide, or I cut 6 boxes in. I don't know how to describe it, but you can see what I'm doing. And on the back cover page, I am now drawing the boxes, the weekly boxes, where I will put the big deadlines to do with home projects. And I'm also drawing the weekly spread, the actual days. I always have the same layout. And yeah. So I'm moving the Today tab to the new weekly and writing the numbers of the weeks down in the bottom right corner. And now I'm moving all the next action spread tabs to the new booklet and writing the dates on each day. And this month I'm doing something different with my tracker. I put everything to do with my health on the weekly spread because I like to see, for my health, it's important to have the weekly overview to see that, okay, I've done my knee exercises 5 times this week, or I've drunk water every day. It's just not as visible when you have it on a monthly tracker. Even with my use of daily colors, it's not as clear. So I'm experimenting with having the health tracker on my weekly instead. And I've only made 5 boxes for 2 of the habits because I don't need to do those habits more than 5 days. So then I won't be distracted or stressed out by empty boxes that I haven't filled in. And I'm sort of going for the same solution on the monthly tracker, where it's not really a monthly tracker, but I put my cleaning habits here on the tracker spread. But I only draw 1 box per habit. So when I have filled in that box, I will draw a new one, but I won't pre-draw boxes to sort of force myself to do habits every day. No, I'm just, putting the habits there as a reminder, like this is what you could do. And, we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll wash the dishes every day, but I won't hoover every day. So why have the same amount of boxes for both of them? And to the left here, I am making my, I guess, it's not a mood tracker, but it's an energy tracker, and I track my progress when it comes to my knee injury, so how I'm feeling in my knee, and I track the weather and try to see correlations between weather and sleep and, well, different factors to see if they have to do with my energy level. And here I've gone to the next action section of my booklet, and I have I'm just dividing each page in half because I separate my next actions according to week, which means that I write my habits on the week when the project is due, when the deadline is. So I'm just putting all the numbers of the weeks. So on each next action spread, I put week 22, 23, 24, 25. But on the home next action spread, I don't divide it into weeks, but into contexts, because I have much less to do at home. And here I am demoting the May tab and putting it on the side of the book and moving the June tab up to the top of the book, because that's where the most important, like my main headings are at the top of the book. So those tabs are sort of more important. And now June is more important than May, obviously. And now I have started transferring all the stuff from my calendar to my first June week. And some things I'm putting in pencil on the right page. And those are things that my husband needs to do, or which are less mandatory. So I just put them in pencil like a brain dump, and then I might process them and put them sort of where they belong instead. Some of them might go onto a post-it for my husband, and others might go on the calendar or wherever. So, but I don't want to forget about them, so I do want to include them on my spread. And as usual, I am using different colors for different projects. Each project has its own color. Except home projects. Actually, on the calendar and on the weekly spread, I use this sort of pinkish purple for all home projects, because I always have fewer tasks to do with home. So on these overviews, monthly overviews and weekly overviews, I only need to see whether it has to do with home or not. It doesn't have to be a project color, whereas for work I have so many different projects going on at the same time that it really helps to have to put them in different colors. And now I am adding next actions to my next action spreads, and I use the project colors here as well. So I'm just going through the whole month, the whole calendar, and putting the deadlines and major projects in the weekly boxes in the left margin, and based on that I create next actions for the next action spreads. And it really helps to have these sort of short reminders in the margin that are visible throughout the month when I'm on my weeklies and next action spreads. Because, well, I keep track of the big stuff. I keep track of what deadlines are on the horizon, and then I know to go to the next action spreads to see actual actions. But it's really good to have, you know, this list of projects in the margin. And this kind of monthly review can be a lengthy process, so I didn't do it all at once. Now you see the light is different and I've moved to another desk. So I'm just adding some tasks that need to be done this week that have to do with these projects and deadlines on the calendar. But I'm also adding them to the next action spreads. And my next action spreads are divided into contact, assess, computer/write, listen, and IQ. My IQ lists are for really simple tasks that don't take a lot of time to do. So some people call them zombie actions or zombie lists. Mistake. Apparently. I don't sweat it with the sort of aesthetic aspect of my planning. I only use color to help me navigate all these different projects. It's not to make it pretty. So if I have to cross something out because I made a mistake, it doesn't really bother me. And it's a funny thing, it bothers me less and less the further into a week or month I get. I guess perhaps it is because at the beginning of a week, say, my brain isn't used to seeing the spread, so it's more important for it to be clean and structured. And the more I use that spread, the more I get used to it and sort of know by heart what it says, or almost by heart. So it matters less if I have to add things in a messy way, or if I put post-its on top. I tolerate messiness more and more. And I've been using GTD for about 10 years, and it's only recently that I've started doing these monthly reviews in earnest, and weekly reviews. And because I was too lazy and didn't see the point of it before, but now I see the point. It actually does help you stay on track and, be organized and always know what the next step is. So I'm glad I took that step. All right, so I am done with the booklet. So, well, almost. I'm going to paint this yellow to signify that it's the back cover. I'm going to decorate it somehow. But as you can see, only these cover pages are the full width of the page, and everything within is a Dutch door. And this one is the full length, but I've folded it to make these weekly boxes visible. So Saturday and Sunday are in the fold. But I do it this way because I like to have the full spread, because as you can see, my calendar is pretty full. So I really need this size box for all the things I need to do. Yep. So, now I have to do all this stuff. That's a problem, isn't it? This is all fun and games until you have to act on those tasks.